Hello YouTube, welcome to another... Fuck, I shit that. My bad.
You fucked it up, man.
I shit my pants.
Let's do it again. No. Let me start. What's up, YouTube? It's your boys. Yeah. I think that's a good intro. Alright, what's up, YouTube?
Welcome to another YouTube channel, YouTube video.
Welcome to a new YouTube channel, though.
Facts.
That's facts. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Yeah, that's it. That's the intro. We don't need to say that much. So today we're gonna be talking about money and how it's being poor, being rich.
No, the thing, like, look,
Okay.
like, yeah.
No.
No. The thing is that I feel...
No, but you shouldn't contradict me.
Bro, the thing is that, bro, I feel lately, like people have been saying, like,
Lately,
they think...
Late night talking.
I feel like, like...
I know, like... No, you know, like...
The people feel like, being
How
poor
do
is
they
cool.
feel
Like being poor is
yeah.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
They think like being poor is the shit.
I
Like
do agree.
you feel badass, being poor.
I've talked to many people that, first of all, they're not poor, and they say that to me.
Yeah, they're not poor. They're like, yeah, money's not that important, man. Like, it's okay.
I've talked to poor people, not here, but back home.
Yeah.
And I think they agree that having money helps a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah, because like back home,
Yeah.
it's like more.
It's a little bit more harder. A little bit harder.
You need money.
Yeah.
You need it.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not that much, just a little bit.
You have to like, in the pot of Nutella, you have to
Yeah,
scratch it,
yeah.
Get some extra calories. right?
When you finish your shampoo, you need to put a little bit of water.
Yeah, classic.
Because you don't want to buy another
You cut the toothpaste, right? Like you put it in the classic, certified who classic.
I used to, because at first I didn't have hot water in my shower.
Yeah.
I used to put it in the stove, like, and heat the water, and then just
Facts.
put it in myself.
But sometimes you wake up, and you have to be prepared fast.
Yeah.
There's no other way. You just shower with
5 a.m.
with cold water.
5 a.m.
5
cold water. Ooh.
Cold plunge.
Ooh.
I've been doing cold plunge before it was trending. Hey,
Thanks. Aston Hall.
there
We were
go.
first. We were first.
We were first, bro.
But it feels kind of good because back home it's always hot. So
Yeah, facts.
getting some cold water
depends.
helps.
Depends.
Yeah, at 5 a.m.
Depends 5
Yeah,
a.m., bro.
yeah.
When you just wake up. Nah, bro. But yeah, like people here, they're all the time saying, yeah, I'm not doing this for the money, I did it because of the passion or the bro, I feel it's just because now it's popular to say, it's like a popular
Facts.
opinion to say that, money's not important, but
And-
that's not the case.
and
They're just lying to themselves.
And let's be honest, if you're paid more, you do it with a little bit more passion.
Bro, 100%. 100%, and like
we've had many jobs, ones worse than the other ones, and I think the ones where we get paid more, they're better.
They're better.
Or they feel better.
They feel better. 100%.
And we've done some shitty jobs.
We've done some pretty bad jobs, yeah.
You a little bit more.
Yeah, and like, and it makes me mad, because the people that are not honest,
Yeah, and I don't get why you don't have to lie.
No, I think, it's becoming trending,
maybe.
to say that, like money is not important, and like the thing is, like, I think people, they get confused, right? They think like money is like the equal of being a material person, to buy a lot of stuff, that, you start buying like a toilet made out of gold, and stuff like that.
An iPhone made out of diamonds.
And, yeah, bro, and like that's just so much not it,
No.
Like just money, like gives you the freedom of like let's say you wake up at night. What the fuck?
You.
No. Let's say, like money, like just gives you the freedom of being at home at night after work and being like, I'm gonna order whatever I want.
Yeah, or I'm gonna eat whatever I want.
I'm gonna eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm gonna treat myself a little bit. I want that lobster, from
Because
that restaurant.
let's
I'm
be
gonna
honest,
order it.
Let's be honest. The end of the month, it's rough.
Bro, the end of the month is rough.
Rough.
Yeah, like
Man.
at first, the first like 5 days,
Yeah,
I'm eating whatever I want.
You feel good.
I feel good.
You get the paycheck. You're like, hey,
yeah, bro. Yeah,
I'm rich.
100%. And but at the end of the month, bro, I'm eating pretty much the same thing, in every meal.
My fridge right now is empty.
Yeah.
Empty.
There you go.
I have nothing. But it's the end of the month,
It's the end of the month.
What else you can do?
Look, if you have money, right? Like I'm not even saying, like you should have like Wagyu steaks in your fridge, right? I'm just saying like money just gives you freedom, bro. Like it's not even about like, putting like other people down and stuff. It's just, the freedom of you wake up today and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, or like I'm gonna do something I like.
Yeah. And as you said, if you're making your money without hurting anyone else,
yeah.
It's
like,
like
that case scenario I'm talking about, like, you're working in something for you and something that you like already. But even if you have a job, and you have a very good salary, you may not have the time.
True.
But at least when you do have the time, you can do whatever you want, bro. You can go out on vacations. You can have a car. Car gives you like, you can travel. You can do a trip. Even with your friends. Like, money gives you the fact. Like, even if you're the friend who has money, you invite your friends. You don't care. Money doesn't become a part of the equation. Doesn't limit your life.
And in my case, for example, I want the money also to see my family more often.
Yeah.
Not even to buy expensive stuff or
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Just to spend more time with your family, spend more time with your friends.
100%.
Because I think at the end of the day, that's what life is about. Spending time with the people you love, and it's not even about the materialistic things.
100%.
But you do need the money if you want to spend more time with your family, if you want to visit them more often. You do need the money, and of course you need it also to eat, essentially, to survive. That's it. We live in a world where money is needed.
Like
it's not something new, but
to me it's just so dumb. I have talked with so many people that like, for example, I ask them what are they studying, right? And I tell them, oh, because of the money, right? Or like money has a important equation on that. And they're like, no. Yeah, no, I'm becoming a lawyer because I love being a lawyer, right? Like, come on, like.
You're not even a lawyer yet.
Yeah. Like,
what do you mean?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
You don't even know how it is to be a lawyer, And
like be honest. Of course, you're doing it because you love it. But
yeah.
If there wasn't a reward, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. If you wouldn't have like a very crazy pay, like once you become a lawyer, or you become a successful lawyer,
But for example, there's one type of people that I do feel they do it because they love it. You have to love it. Is doctors, for example. They have to study 8 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a passion.
Yeah, it's a passion.
At the end of the day, they get paid, but it's a passion.
Yeah.
You need to love it.
But even like if doctors, it's known that they have a good salary.
Yeah. Depends on the country.
It depends on the country. Like there's better countries, but usually in that country, those are the highest.
Yeah, of course.
Paid salaries, But if it wasn't the case, I doubt a lot there were like that many doctors,
Maybe.
And I think also that's part of the equation. And the thing is that, we live in a society, right? That's like, bro, like you wake up and by a fact, if you worked, right? If you're not in school and all of that, and you have mommy and daddy paying for you, right? Like
that would be the dream.
That's a dream. That's a dream.
That would be the dream.
Bro, in different lifetime. Different lifetime.
I know.
But yeah, bro, like, by a fact, today you're gonna spend money, You know, you know, by the
Facts.
fact that tomorrow you're gonna spend money, that during the month you're gonna spend money, like,
Facts.
bro, you know, like, money, you cannot, you cannot just like ignore it. You know, like, there's no choice. You know, money is going to be there, and it's going to be a part of your life, and the only way you can ignore it and you can like get some, you know, like a release from it, is to have so much money that you don't have to care about it. You know, that you have so much money that you are like, you know, I want to travel the world, and you don't even see how much does it cost. You know,
It's crazy.
You know,
Just a small Airbnb for a few days.
yeah, yeah.
You need to spend a lot of
Yeah,
money.
bro. Yeah, even, you know, like, if you want to learn a new language, you know, like, hey, I will have the time, I will have the money to like pay my classes and all of that, you know, like, and you don't even care. You don't think about the price, you know.
And, you know, also, I think the moments where I've had the least amount of money is the times where I think more about money.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
The times that you're the selfish, the time
Yeah.
you know, like, you, yeah, bro.
because you need it, and because you don't have it, you're every day you're just thinking about it.
You have money hunger, bro. You know, like, and
And-
it's like that.
And even right now, for example, we don't have debts yet, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that have debts, and they need to pay it every month.
Exactly.
And-
They're constantly thinking about it, you know, like, in 5 years, you know, I have to have that amount of money, you know, and the life becomes, you know, it's funny enough because most of the time that type of persons, you know, they tell me, no, like, money's not important, but the life turn about money, you know.
And-
like,
And you cannot lie to someone that has been there. You know,
yeah, exactly.
if you've been there, you know how it is. You know what we're talking about, and you know that if someone is telling you, yeah, money, like, doesn't matter. One, maybe it's because they already have the money, so they're not even thinking about the money, or it's people that they're lying to themselves.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, like, I think at the end of the day, you know, you need the money, and you need the time, you know, right? Because, like, money is going to give you the freedom to do whatever you want, and you need the time to spend to get to enjoy that freedom, right? So at the end of the day, you need a job that you like, right? Or that gives you the time to spend, right? Because if you're a successful lawyer, right, but you're not seeing your family, you only have like 2 days a week,
Yes,
a week, you
it's
know,
not worth it.
like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you're just like that 9 to 5 employee, you know, which his life, it all turns, it's all money.
And you know the
Life shouldn't be all money, and
And-
that's why you need money. Like, it's funny enough, but
you shouldn't idolize money, because money shouldn't be your last goal. You shouldn't die for the money,
yeah,
but you still need it. You still need to think about it, how to get it, how to get better, but also balance it with the other parts of your life, your family, your friends,
like,
love, etc.
you know, the
I need
goals.
to pee, man.
Yeah, go,
Continue.
man. You know, like, the what you need in life. So yeah, man, you know, like, what you actually want in life at the end is to experience life, you know, to get to know stuff, you know, to learn things, you know, to learn a new language, you know, learn a new passion, to make friends, know people, maybe have a family at the end, you know, and a family can be, you know, like a friend group, you know, can be your wife, it can be your children, you know, that's all the things that you want, and you want to spend the time with them, and you have to have a very good quality time with them, and that's the things that matter, you know. And the way you're going to achieve that, it's with money, and you don't need to be like a billionaire, you know. It's not about that, but, you know, you cannot like forget about the money, you know, and to me it's just a big lie, you know. And like, I hate to say it, you know, but like most of the time, you know, I'm not going to say like which countries, right? But even the government, sometimes they sell you that, they sell you that. Oh, not even the governments, like some colleges, some universities, some people in Twitter, right? Like they sell you this thing, that you can just forget about money and that money is not important and that you have to, just do like,
live like money doesn't exist.
Yeah, like like not have ambitions, not have goals, just cared about having that passion, having a job,
And I think what maybe bothers us is that we know what having no money feels like, or what makes you do, or what happens to your life when you don't have it, and the difference between having it and having a little bit more or being more stable, it's completely two different worlds. It's completely different. So, like, you're telling me that when I know it's a lie, or it's not the truth. Simply, it's you do need it. Like we said, you don't have to idolize it. It shouldn't be your main goal in life and life for it. But
your main goals, you're going to achieve them and in the best way with money. And the things that, like most of the time, they sell you this idea of, like there's a perfect job for you, right? And you have to study, you have to get that job, and that's all that matters, right? Your passion, and after that get to, they talk about all the things on how you are going to get money without talking about money, and they tell you it's not important. But at the end of the day, man, in whatever is the job you have, unless your job is like basically, like, I don't know, being an actor or like some crazy, amazing job that is not even a job, to be fair, like playing video games or stuff like that, or doing YouTube videos, right?
No, but
go ahead.
You know what we talked about? The best job or your dream job is the job that doesn't feel like a job.
Yeah, facts, 100%. Like
that's it.
That's it. But any other job, right, that doesn't gives you that freedom of managing time in the way you want to do it, right? Or like that you're not with your friends and spending time with them and all of that. There are times that you're gonna hate it, like being a lawyer, being like, working in economics, being a software engineer, being an engineer, being all this crazy stuff, sometimes, there's like very stressing situations, and at the end of the day, you're gonna be stressing and all of that. Not most of the time is going to be about money and about not having the time. Facts. Because of your problems at work, You don't want to work or the job you have to control everything in your life. You don't want anything, just one thing in your life controlling the rest. And the only way is to secure and have a stable situation about money. But anyway, 100%. After just talking about all of this, making money is fucking hard. It's very hard.
It's also it's very hard also. It's and you realize that doing a normal job, you're not gonna make enough to just.
Yeah, exactly. To get to a financial freedom, where you can say like, oh, I'm gonna go to like traveling in this country because I love the culture and I'm going to learn the language, to have that time, that money.
Just as you have a, I don't know, CEO position, but even that,
you don't have the time.
You don't have the time.
You don't have the time, man.
Like you need to work, and even if it's a 9 to 5, be grateful that you have a job, because having a job or working is a good thing to do, but it's not enough. And you're not gonna achieve what you want, or maybe that's what you want, but you're not gonna achieve that freedom with just that normal job, because you're not gonna get paid enough. Your bills are gonna be higher than what you're making, so it doesn't work.
Yeah,
you need to find another way to make money, preferable a thing you like doing.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're gonna be making money doing something that you like, so it's not gonna feel like a job 100%. And
you know,
I
like
think that's the way.
there's the also like, you know, it depends where you live, like the country you live.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation. Just, you know, like I was talking about that because I hate the people, you know, like they just ignore money, right? And I get it. The purpose is to ignore it, right? But
100%.
being poor and ignoring it is just not possible, and it's dumb at the same time. And after all the things that we talked about it, you know, that we talk about during this video, you know, there's nothing new, right? Everyone knows these things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's just facts. Like
we're not discovering the fire.
yeah. You know, like the best job is like the one that doesn't feel like a job. Everyone knows that, you know, like
But yeah,
the things that we said, you know, you need money, like all the things, you know, like it's just the way it is,
but
you know.
I do agree that maybe nowadays people are forgetting how it works, or maybe not forgetting. But
Yeah, people are forgetting ambitious. They're focusing in everything that makes them unhappy, and that's just not the way. Or like the things that makes you happy for a moment, you know,
momentaneously.
like drugs, you know, like
bad
going
stuff.
partying and so all of that, you know. And people that say, oh, you know, like I'm enjoying my younger years, you know, bro. I don't think like getting drunk and going to parties is enjoying your younger years, you know. Like if you have that much energy, right, and you can do like so many things while you're young, bro, you should be traveling the world. You should be meeting new people, you know, like.
Or you
I don't know.
You should be using that energy in
Bro, in stuff that.
that's also, first of all, that's healthier for you.
Yeah.
Because drinking and all of that is not healthy for you, and also for things that it's gonna make you happy in the long run, not in the short
long
run.
run, exactly.
And
you know.
I've also met so many people that they have so much potential. They're so disciplined. They're so motivated, but they use it in the wrong things.
Exactly.
And because I've met some crazy people that I believe that if they put that energy and time in things they love or creating something, they would be so big and they would create
100%.
empires. But I think sometimes also people doubt themselves and they don't realize, or they don't have the trust in themselves to be like, yo, let me try this.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Let's see. And it's kind of sad, not gonna lie.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, you know, sometimes also those kind of people, we don't know their problems, and maybe they're not doing the right things, you know, and there's like reasons why, you know, traumas, you know, maybe they have already a daughter or stuff like that, right? But like if you don't have those types of problems, you know, and bro, just literally, like, it's so funny, but nothing that makes you unhappy or that doesn't make you happy in the long run matters. Straight up, unless you're a psychopath, right? In that case, bro, just
in that case,
unalive yourself, bro, and
don't watch the video.
Yeah, get off the server, bro, right? But yeah, bro, if you're a good person, man, and like everything that doesn't make you happy in the long run matters. Straight up, that's the way I see the things, you know.
And like we're not geniuses. Like we said, this is, I think everyone knows this, but I think it's good having a small reminder.
Yeah.
That
100%.
You need to pursue some kind of things. You need to work for some kind of things, and that if you want to have that great life, most of the time you need to first of all secure that financial freedom, or not even financial freedom, but to be stable economically.
Yeah.
And then focus on the other things. Like once you have the money, then you can focus on the things that are gonna make you happy for the
building
long run.
up like long-lasting relationships, you know, with your friends, you know,
building
with
a
your
family,
girlfriend, you know,
everything.
And even, you know, like if you don't want to get married and stuff, like it's possible to build up a family, you know, like
like
you know, you can have brothers, right?
You have your mom, your dad. If you have them, you can take care of them.
Yeah, bro. Like
you can spend time with them.
You know, meeting good people, you know, experiencing the world. You know, the world has so much to offer, you know, to not take advantage of it, you know, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste. That's it.
I do agree. And also, I think it's a waste of time if you have good things to say or interesting things to say, and you keep it to yourself. I think you should share it with others, because maybe you think that it's not helpful or that you're saying some dumb stuff, but maybe someone will listen to it and it will be very helpful for them. So you never know. You never know. Sometimes with
you can do a YouTube channel and talk about these, right? And
facts.
right, if you start making money, right? If people start listening to you, you help them and all of that. Then you call us, bro, and we do a collab, right?
100%.
100%.
But we charge a little bit for the collab now. We're joking.
Yeah.
We don't need the money though.
Yeah, bro.
But hey,
Anyway,
thank you for watching the video.
see you in the next video, right?
If there is one. Ciao.